What's up, guys? How y'all doing? This is Joseph Ebarb. What's up? Okay, so we are still continuing the series that has been on my Instagram for quite a while, and that happens to be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I was really surprised when I got this series because I was at Barnes & Noble one day, and I was just trying to figure out, what series do I need to get? What do I need to, work on? So Throne of Glass was definitely a must-have, and I want to just continue this series on my BookTube. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and it also makes my dog happy, which is he's right here. Say hey. All right, so I don't really know a lot about too much of the series. But I do know I was able to go on Google a couple days ago and I downloaded Google Play Books because unfortunately when I went to the bookstore they didn't have Crown of Midnight or Heir of Fire, so I'm gonna be doing book videos on those after I read them on my Google Play Books. But you can also go check out my Goodreads and my Google Play, which will be at the link in the description, so you can look at both of those. I will also be posting books every day on my Instagram, so make sure you guys follow me at BookGuy306. That's on my Instagram. And yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so what is Throne of Glass? What's the universe? Honestly, all I can tell you is it's about a major assassin whose name is Selena Sardathian, and she used to be a mine worker. Excuse me while I get something to drink. I always have the hardest time staying hydrated in my videos. Alright, sorry about that. Anyway, what I was saying was, I'm really glad I got this series, but this is a high fantasy novel. I probably wouldn't recommend anybody be reading this series until they're at least probably 15, 16. It's somewhere around that age. I'm 19 years old. I can read whatever I want. But anyway, I'm really glad once again that I had this series because it is probably one of the most popular on BookTube. It's been on BookTube since probably 2014, 2015, but there's a lot of good videos. If you want to see some more Throne of Glass videos, you can go ahead and check out my playlist on my YouTube and go see that. So, we're going to be reading a couple chapters, and I wouldn't call this an audiobook video. I'd more call it just like a single read. But yeah, so far, what's happened is, and I think I lost my place. I'm on chapter 6, I'm gonna just start right there. So, Selena Sardathian used to be a mine worker. She became a major assassin. She tried to escape the mine. She ended up at the castle walls, and she was captured by this king who has given her basically two choices. One, you can fight in the competition with 23 other assassins because there's a major competition. All of the world's best assassins will be in this arena, and they will try to kill each other, almost like a Hunger Games type kind of thing. That's why I like this, book, because I've always been a big fan of the Hunger Games. As soon as I can, I'm going to get the Mockingjay on my back, and I'll be revealing that on my YouTube channel as soon as I can. And also, I want to make sure that this book lives up to the hype. I've been on YouTube, a lot of people said, I even saw this one video where this guy was like, oh, I read the Throne of Glass series and it gave me depression. So I did not like that. If the video about that is also in my playlist, so I'll try and go back and search the YouTuber's name and try to put it in one of my links. But you should definitely check that out. So we're on chapter 6 right now. Basically what's been going on is Selena has she's still with the king, and she's on this horse. She's chained right next to the officer in charge, or the royal guard, and they're on horseback traveling through the kingdom, trying to get her prepared for this major battle. Chapter 6 is on page 33. You don't have to have the book out if you don't want to, but if you do, you can follow along. For the next 2 weeks, they traveled down the continent, the nights becoming colder, the days shorter. Icy rain kept them company for 4 days, during which time Selena was so miserably cold that she contemplated throwing herself into a ravine, hopefully dragging Chow with her. Chow, or Shaol, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, but that's one of the royal guard members that she's with. And he also plays a big part in this series, so you hear a lot about Shaol. Everything was wet and half frozen, and while she could bear sodden hair, she couldn't withstand the agony of wet shoes. She had little sensation in her toes. Each night she wrapped them in whatever spare dry clothing she could find. She felt as though she were in a state of partial decay, and with each gust of frigid, stinging wind, she wondered when her skin would rip from her bones. But, as it was autumn weather, the rain suddenly disappeared, and cloudless, brilliant skies once more stretched over them. Selena was half asleep on her horse when the crown prince pulled out of line and came trotting toward them, his hair bouncing. His red cape rose and fell in a crimson wave. Above his unadorned white shirt was a fine cobblet blue jerkin trimmed with gold. She would have snorted, but he did look rather good in his knee-high brown boots, and his leather belt did go nicely, even though the hunting knife seemed a bit too bejeweled. He pulled up along Shaol. "Come," he said to the captain, and jerked his hand on at the steep, grassy hill that the company was starting to ascend. "Where?" the captain asked, jingling Selena's chain for Dorian to notice. Wherever he went, she went. "Come see the view," Dorian clarified. "Bring that one, I suppose." Selena bristled. "That one," as if she were a piece of baggage. Shaol moved them out of line, giving her chain a fierce tug. She grasped the reins as they advanced into a gallop, the tangy smell of horsehair creeping into her nostrils. They rode quickly up the steep hill, the horse jerking and surging beneath her. Selena tried not to wince as she slid backward in the saddle. If she failed, she died of humiliation, but the setting sun emerged from the trees behind them, and her breath caught in her throat as a spear. Then 3, then 6 more appeared, piercing the sky. Atop the hill, Selena stared at the crowning achievement of Adelarn, the glass castle of Rifthold. It was gargantuan, a vertical city of shimmering crystalline towers and bridges, chambers and turrets, domed ballrooms, and long endless hallways. It had been built above the original stone castle and cost the kingdom's wealth to construct. She thought of the first time she'd seen it 8 years ago, cold and still, frozen like the earth beneath her fat pony. Excuse me. She remembered the powdered blue cloak that she kept touching, the weight of her fresh curls, the scratch of her stockings against the saddle, how she worried about the spot of mud on her, and velvet shoes, and how she kept on thinking about that man that she'd killed 3 days earlier. "One more child and the whole thing will collapse," the crown prince said from his spot on the other side of Shaol. The sound of their approaching party filled the air. "We've still got a few miles left, and I'd rather navigate the foothills of Madrele. We'll camp here tonight." I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure.
You're way too loud, dog. People are trying to sleep.
This has been